and they shouldn't be that hard for you to memorize. And so go ahead and do so. Make yourself some flashcards, whatever you need to do. This is a pretty good, pretty easy exercise. Goes right along with what we had last week. And it's just simply taking, in this particular instance, masculine adjectives and making them feminine. Because, you know how to take a masculine noun and make it a feminine. Well, your noun and your adjective have to be in agreement in terms of gender. And so you've got to know how to do that. And then, of course, also being able to recognize that when you're reading it gives you a lot of clues about what the rest of the scripture is saying, and get your translation more properly, obviously, right, and especially when you're pairing up things that are like gender, for example. So you have tov, add the gametz hey, and you've got tova. Okay, and I really want to encourage all of you guys, if you haven't memorized the names for the different vowels, like gametz, pata, go ahead and do so you're not going, what is that T thing underneath the consonant? It's not that hard to get it. We'll put a little bit more time in here. So once again, just simply add the gametz and the hey at the end of the word, and it's just that simple. Ra, so now we have two opposites, tov, vara, good and evil. Okay, now let's make ra. Let's make it feminine. Simply add the gametz and the hey. That's just that simple. Ra, ra'ah. So tov, tova. Ra, ra'ah. And then here it's, this is a unique little deal here, and I'm pretty sure it applies to this word. And that is, every once in a while, there's certain instances in which the gametz at the beginning of a word is going to be pronounced O, like in chol, which has, which means all or every, and it's a gametz, but it's got an O sound. Here it is the same way. I'm pretty certain of it. It would be yofi, and it's also used in modern Hebrew. And it's a great little word to have, like instead of just going awesome or good or that's neat or whatever or cool, you say yofi, beautiful, yofi. It's that kind of a response. Instead of saying cool, you go yofi. Instead of that's neat, you go yofi. Or that's great, you say yofi, okay? Meaning beautiful or nice, okay? So get that in your vocabulary, okay? Those of you who got a one-word vocabulary of cool, why don't you go ahead and add to it yofi? Of course, I know that none of you do, but just trying to be humorous, okay? And then here, you can either go, and if you say yafa, okay, but I'm pretty sure it's yofa for the feminine. And once again, all we did here was take the shagol here, and under the fe, and just make it a gametz. A gametz, so that we have gametz hey. That's simple, okay? And then gadol, I believe that was already one of your words. And then all you do once again, gadolah. And now we've got the feminine of great or large. Then small, same thing, katan. Now let's go and there's going to be some vowel changes here because of the way it's pronounced, okay? And you're going to get used to this, so don't try to memorize it right now necessarily. Because when you start, we've got something up here that just came in on your calendar. So when you start getting into this, you're going to see, okay, well, now we're going to go from pronouncing this katan, okay, for small, to katana, okay, and it's going to kind of fall out in the pronunciation how to utilize the schwa at the beginning of the word, or as a syllable, a place to demarcate a syllable within the word. Okay, that's about the best I can explain it right now. I'm sure that there's many people who could do a better job of explaining that. So now, no surprises here. Zakin, which is old. Zakin, old for no person, is now zakina. Okay, zakina. And then yashan, which is another word for old things instead of old persons. It's yashana. Once again, just adding the gametz and the hey, and then having to deal with the other vowels in, correspondingly to the addition of a new syllable. And so this is a very common word in your exercises that you went through at the end, both of chapter 7 and chapter 8. So you should have that Zair, which means young, and Zaira. Once again, no surprises. And then you have Shakor for black, and then you have Shakora. Then you have the opposite of black here, Lavan, like Laban, okay? Just remember Laban, who was the uncle of Jacob, okay? Lavan, spelled the same way, and Lavana, to make white feminine to match, as I said, the noun. And then Gadosh for holy, and Gadosha. Okay, now if you just put that up for me, bring that up a little bit. And now let's just look at some nouns here. Once again, increasing your vocabulary. And in this particular nouns, we have only one noun here that it looks like it's being identified as masculine, but you have bayit for house, yalid for boy, and of course that, I thought that was feminine, but we'll just leave that for now. Etz for tree, shim for name, or for light, shana for year, yalada for girl. There we go. That's right. Okay, I'm seeing what's going on here. So here we have bayit, which is masculine, shana for year. That looks like it would be what? Feminine, because of the gametz hey. Yalid for boy. So now yelda for girl. Once again, we've got added another syllable, if you would, and so we've got a bit of a break now in the word with the schwa underneath the lamed. But just for now, just memorize it. Yelid for boy, add the gametz hey, and now you got girl from yelid. Now you've got yelda. Here you have etz, which would be masculine, and then you have mishpacha, which is feminine, and it's for family. And then we have from baruch, or baruch, we have baracha, which is the feminine form of blessing. I think it would have been good if he would have just gone ahead, and especially, where you have another form here, like baruch, and just had baruch, and then had baracha for the feminine form of blessing. And then light is or, and then law, Torah, and you can see once again the gametz hey for feminine expression. And then now let's look at prepositions. You want to memorize these prepositions. You're going to see them all the time as we're reading the Bible. And then you're going to see them in different forms, and we'll learn about the different forms later, but the different forms are easy to recognize. So make sure you get these down, because later on they're going to be conjugated to the words, okay? El is to, and keep in mind, I know that I've already showed you that El was God, and it's really the same sound. And just remember that El that is to has the shagol. And one of the ways to do it is that the El that represents God has a sere underneath the aleph here, right here underneath the aleph, and it's just like two eyes looking at you. So when you got two eyes looking at you like you get out of a sere, then it's God, okay? That might help, okay? It helps me, okay? It surely did at one time help me for sure. Then al, which is upon, tachat, you're going to see that over and again, which is under or instead of. And then from, min, and im, with, and then beli, without. And you can imagine, we were talking about to and from and upon and over and under, how much those are used in just when you're talking. So you can imagine, how much you're going to see this. So don't worry about it. Just get it down. And then what's going to happen is as you start reading, you're going to see it over and over and over and over again. So you really want to memorize those words that you're going to see over and over and over again. So once again, you're going to start dedicating yourself at some point, especially in the second year, to always reading the Hebrew Bible or reading something in Hebrew. But we want to just focus on reading only the Hebrew Bible. And I don't mind supplemental Hebrew reading, but primarily getting supplemental Hebrew reading with vowels. And that's a little bit more of a challenge because obviously you get a lot of Hebrew reading from a newspaper from Israel, but it's going to have a different vocabulary. It's a modern vocabulary, non-biblical vocabulary. There are overlaps, okay? And it's not going to have any vowels, okay? And so there's going to be some challenges there. Ultimately, everybody wants to get to a place where you can at least recognize all the biblical words without vowels. You'll be able to do that. Just time at task. So let's go to the next. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, just a little bit more on vocabulary, and then we'll start going over some of these words, some of these exercises. And please keep in mind, folks, that when you're going through the exercises, I don't have any problem whatsoever. Just lay out your vocabulary there and go through it, okay, until you get it. But at some point in time, you want to come back to those exercises without having your vocabulary laid out there and go ahead and answer the questions and test yourself. Because in that way, you're challenging your memory. And the more you do this, the better you're going to get at it. Okay, so once again, we're going to deal with some masculine versus feminine adjectives here. And we've got gadosh versus gadosha, which you already know. Gadol versus gadola. We already went through that. Lavan versus levana. Shakor versus shakora. Zair versus zaira. Okay, Zair versus Zaira. Okay, now, and that seems to be redundant. Maybe I put in some redundant slide. Who knows? But and redundancy is good. If it's not, oh yeah, I think that was kind of towards the end of the chapter, summarizing once again the consistency of how to change these adjectives from masculine to feminine. Look at the consistency. Once again, gametz hey, gametz hey, gametz hey, gametz hey. Okay, write the feminine of the following words. Okay, this is very simple to do. And of course, once again, we just been through this. Tov for good, tova. So all we do is add a gametz hey, and we got tova, right? And you should write it out. You should take the time and get good at this. Start giving yourself some spelling bees. Remember what you did, what you did in grammar school, okay? And you don't necessarily need to use vowels, but the only way you were ever going to really learn how to spell was that you got in there and you actually did your spelling, okay? You had your little spelling bees, and then you got your tova. Okay? So it's just really important. Spend the time. Don't just go through it real quickly and say it all. Go ahead and write it all out, okay? Gadol. And get where you can sound it out, okay? And of course, I know that when you start sounding it out, you don't know. Is it because the gametz and the pata, they all sound the same. And so if you're sounding out gadol, right? You don't know really for sure if that is going to be a gimel gametz or a gimel pata sound, because it sounds the same, right? But go ahead, just do it. And before long, you're going to understand, how that you'll probably run into the gametz more with a word than you will the pata. And so here it's spelled just like it sounds, and then gadol. La, all you're going to do is add the gametz and a hey. Okay? So gadola, right? And then, Yofe. And remember, Yofe is a little, I said Yofe. Yofe has a little bit of a trick to it, okay? So you don't want to forget about this. And the way that you can get through the trick, is just simply remember that you've got to have a gametz hey at the end of the word to make it feminine. And so you're just going to take that shagol and you're going to change it into a gametz. And it's going to look like that. Double gametz. Okay, so make sure you don't cut a lot of corners here. Make sure that you actually go through here, you write this thing out. I hope that the demonstration of this is good enough. Don't worry so much about whether or not you get, whether or not you get your vowels right, zakin, because I don't get them always right either. It's more about you getting used to this and understanding, working at it, trying real hard to get it, and then ultimately it's going to come. And so then we're going to change this over here, and a couple things are going to happen when we change the key. We're going to recognize that, number one, the final noon's not going to be the final noon form anymore, okay? Because now it's at the end, not at the end of the word, and we're going to add the gametz, hey. And so maybe you're having problems with what the vowels are. Well, don't worry about it. Just get the most important part right now. And then you come back and you work later on making sure that your vowels are right. That your vowels are right in everywhere else. Okay? Just trying to look at if there's another tricky word. Oh yeah, well, ish is not really that tricky. Okay? Ish. Because you already have memorized how to make the feminine of ish, and that is simply, once again, the yod drops off, and you've got to have room for that pata, the hey at the end of it, so now it's isha, okay? Oh, you're Herrick there. You with me? I don't think that there's any other tricky words there. I think everything else just falls out. Oh, yelid to yelda, remember? Now you've got a little bit of moving around of vowels because you're adding in the gametz underneath the dalet. So I'll try to do this like this. And it's just practicing this. Once again, the more you do it, the better. Focus on pronunciation, okay, without the vowels, yelad, okay? Then understand how to come back and get your pick up your vowels later. I think that might help you. Understand we've got to have a gametz underneath that dalet, okay? So we started off with the shagol, right? With the gametz, was it gametz shagol or was it gametz? No, shagol, right? Yeah, that's what I thought, shagol. Okay, start off with a shagol. Yeah, not ya, but yeah, yelid. I'm terrible at phonetics when it even comes to English. So, and then now we're going to just work with this one. We're going to put a schwa there, and it should be, I'm pretty sure it's a shagol schwa. And if I'm wrong, okay, but you can just bear with me. But I'm pretty sure it's yelda, okay? I know schwa's right, gametz right. Wasn't sure whether we switched from a shagol to a serre not. But I don't see anything else there. Doda. So you got gadosh, gadosha, doda, and then susa. Okay? So then let's go on to the next group. You know what I ought to do is I ought to just go ahead and turn on my computer over here and see if I can see some of the answers. And that way, I could help myself while I'm helping you as well. Let me see here real quickly. See, where were we at? For Yale. Okay. Yeah. I can't really see it that well, but I think, yeah, it looks like it was a pata, not a serre. So if I'm seeing it right, that went to a pata. Yal. So those of you guys that are better at phonetics than I am, it's going to be no problem for you. Okay, let's go to the next exercise here. Okay? And that is, give the feminine of the following. Once again, this is real easy. You've already gone through this. And now it's isha zeira, right? Okay? Remember, you're just, once again, both the noun and the adjective have got to be the same in gender. Ish goes to isha, okay? And then you have zair young, and it goes to Zaira with the gametz hey. Should be no surprises, okay? So you have Hayeled, Hakatan, which would be, if you were translating this, this would be the young boy, right? Or forgive me, the small boy, Katan, the small boy. But we don't need to translate it right now. We're just going to change it into feminine form. So it would be Ha-Yelda, like we just showed you. The Yod will have a Pata underneath it. Lamed will have a Shwa underneath it. The Dalet would have a Gametz underneath it. So I hope I'm not going too fast for you. And of course, that should be also in your, I don't need to write it out for you because, right, it's right there. Yeah, it's right there in your answer key. Silly me. So hopefully you all have an answer key. Now listen, if you do not have an answer key and you're taking this class, let me know, and I will make sure that you got all the answers. Hopefully all of you just invested in that answer key. It's just not that expensive. You need that. You want it for the rest of your life, so do it. Then Hadod Hazakan, the old uncle, would be Hadoda Hazakena. Once again, no surprises. Add the comments, hey. This is getting old hat, right? This is so easy. Now, Hasus Halaven, which is the white horse, is Hasusa Halevena. Okay? Got that? And then Hayelid Hatov, which is the good boy. Now we want to change it to the good girl. It's going to be Hayelda Hatova. That's really simple. Now, if you just wanted to have a good girl, a white horse, a old uncle, a little boy, a young man or young woman, all you would do, not there, all you would do here with where you have the definite article, the hey pata, you just drop that off. And now it's, instead of the little boy or small boy, it's a small boy or a little boy, okay? Instead of it being the old uncle, it would be a old uncle, okay? So here, once again, it's got to have both the same gender, and it also has to have the same number, which you're going to learn about later. And if one has the adjective that is modifying the noun, it's got to be, if the noun has the definite article, so the adjective must have the definite article as well. Okay, translate the following into English. Mishpacha. Now, one of the things I want you to be doing with me is doing the exercise of just pronouncing. Because that's the one thing that you don't have in your key, is pronouncing. So we'll try to do this slow. But remember, you're not in a class where you've got dialogue going on, which is a great advantage to learning a language. The only dialogue that is going on is the sound of your voice reading something. So probably once again, if you need to, go ahead at this juncture in time and do a transliteration of these first, and so that you can pronounce it. But let's do this. I'll try to do it slow. Mishpacha, 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 mishpacha gadola, which is, once again, let's look at it. Number one, you see feminine, right? Gametz hey, and it means the great family. It means a great family. There's no definite article there, so it's a great family, right? Hopefully you have a great family. So then the next one is we have Isha, Zaira, Bayafa, okay? Or Bayofa. And remember, Yofi goes to Yofa, and pronouncing the gametz as an O. That is a surprise. And if I'm breaking in with modern day Hebrew, that doesn't apply to biblical Hebrew, forgive me, but I think it's fine. I think it does, okay? And so here, what are we looking at here? Well, let's just break it all out when you want to do your translation. Isha, what is that? Wife or woman, right? And Zaira, you already know Zair is young. And so now we're talking about a woman, so we've got to have the gametz hey. If it was ish, you wouldn't have a gametz hey here, right? A gametz hey. So we know we've got, and then we know what the word is here. We got two words here, conjugation here with the word beautiful. So what do we have? The beautiful young woman. A beautiful, not the, but a beautiful young woman. Or a young, beautiful woman. No, you have to go, we've got to remember the conjugation, right? So now we're going to get a right translation. A young and beautiful woman, okay? Right? Are you with me? Do you see that? Important. If you're going to get the translation right, remember you got your key, so you can always go and look at it there. A young and beautiful woman. And let's look over there. We can go ahead and go over there and look to it. Yeah, it says a young and beautiful woman. Okay. Boy, if I can't translate that, I got some issues. But, you know, sometimes you get into other vocabulary modes, and, you know, you got to try to remember your vocabulary that you're not using all the time. And you're going to have some of those days and whatnot, but, you know, fine. Most of this should be, you know, my dog has a spot. My dog that has a spot's named Spot. So my dog Spot has a spot. And that's kind of what we're doing here, right? Then we've got Laila Tov. And that's a great one for you to learn because that's good night. Laila Tov. Okay? You can say Boker Tov, good morning. Erev Tov, good evening. So you learn Boker, morning. Boker, Laila, night. Erev. Okay? Whatever you want to make good, just put Tov on it. And then that's one of the things that you can always do. Somebody says something and you like it, go Tov. Or you're agreeing, go Tov. Okay? So try to use some of these words. You can try to use some of these words in your everyday thinking. Like I said, replace cool with Yofi. Beautiful. Okay? And instead of saying nice, go Yofi. Okay? Bali habat hadzaira. Okay? Hopefully I'm not going too fast again. You should be able to get fast with that. You should be able to go, Bali habat hadzaira. Okay? But that's a little bit too fast to start with. So what we're going to do is we're going to break it all down. Bali. Bali is a very important word. Don't forget it. You need that word. It's going to come in other little conjugation forms too. It's without. It's another word for, like, lo is no. I think you've already learned that word. Bali is without. There's going to be other words that we're going to use that have that negative impact. So Bali is a very important one. Bali, habat. We know that bat is daughter. Okay, ha is that definite article. And then hatzira. And of course, you've already know what this. We've already used it how many times now. And so what are we going to say here? We're going to say without the daughter, the young. Right? Without the young daughter. You with me? Okay, let's go next. Let's see what we got next coming up. Don't forget to give me my signals. Okay. Oh, okay. So let's go on here, and then now you're going to see once again, you know, the min, the il, how important it is. See that? The al, you know, how are you going to describe to and from and to, unless you get those. And then you got the megif. Remember the megif that kind of joins two words together? We're going to get rid of the megif later on, and we're going to make this more simple. But before we simplify it and conjugate it and make this, it's going to appear later different. And you're going to see what I mean, okay, later on. Or we're not going to really encounter it. This is kind of like a long form. We're not going to really encounter it a lot of times like this in the long form in the Bible. We're going to get a short form. And the short form, believe me, it's going to be easier. But you've got to really understand it. I'm hoping that I'm making my point that if you really understand it here, then it's just that much easier later when you see the short form. You're not curious of what's going on now. Min habayat el hasadeh. Okay, let's do it slow. Min habayat el hasadeh. Once again, if you need to, you go ahead and you do your transliteration to help you with your pronunciation. Min is from, then you have the definite article there, hey, pata, from, the, and then bayit, you know what that is, house. El is to, there it is again, the hey and the pata, which is the, and then sade is your vocabulary, one of your vocabulary words I think you've had for at least 2 lessons now, which means field. So it's just simply this, from the house to the field. How can it be more simple, right? So you just keep practicing those until you get good at them. And what's going to happen is by the time we get to chapter 20, the translation is going to break out before you. You're going to go, whoa, man, I'm translating. Okay? Because what's going to happen is Mansour is going to develop these phrases into sentences and then paragraphs. And he's going to keep building on the vocabulary, and he's going to keep building on what you know, and then you're going to be translating before you know it some pretty complicated paragraphs. And all you have to do is just stick with it. If you get behind, there's nothing you can do but just start over or catch up, and it doesn't take that much time to put in it. Come on. And I really, listen, I know I'm always giving you the rah-rah, okay? But the bottom line of it is, I know you've got to have a motivation. Something's got to go on the inside of you, motivating you to learn a language, because it's just, lazy brain is over once you start wanting to learn a language. But I hope studying the Word of God is motivation enough for you. And don't tell me you don't have time. I'm going to come monitor your day. You tell me you don't have time. I'm going to come and monitor your day. Oh, would that ever be scary? Let God, because when you start saying I don't have time, you're uttering that before the Lord, and He is monitoring your day. So you better be careful. It better not be a bunch of vegetation time, staring out the window, staring at the blue tube. Okay, here we go. Min habayat il hasade. Okay, we translated that from the house to the field. Okay, il habayat ha-katin. Ha-katan. Yeah, and it's that. Would you blow that up for me just a little bit? That's got to be a gametz there, not a, yeah, there we go. We can see it now. Sometimes, it's like the schwa hides within the gametz. And I'm like, that's not a word. Il habayat ha-katan, okay? Let's take this once again. Il is to or unto. Ha, once again. Hey, pata is the definite article. The, bayit, you know what that is? House. Hey, once again. Pata is the definite article. Katan is what? The little, right? So what is this? To the little house, or to the small house, right? Versus the opposite of what? Hagadol, the great house, or the big house. And then you would also be able to easily change all of this into a feminine expression as well, wouldn't you? Okay? So now, al-hasus halavan. So let's look at this. Al, we know that's on or upon. And then hasus is the horse, and halavan. And we know that lavan is white. So what is that? Upon or on the white horse. Pretty easy. Bali hamishpacha. Bali hamishpacha. Okay? One more time. Bali hamishpacha. And so, Bali is without. We've already gone over that once. There's your definite article again. Mishpacha, vocabulary word, family. So it's without the family. We're going on a trip. Bali hamishpacha, without the family. No one wants to do that, unless they're extended family, maybe. The guys you don't like. Okay. Then we have tachat, and this is the first time we've seen it actually in a sentence form, but it's vocabulary. Under, very important word. You're going to see it over and over again in biblical Hebrew. It's your vocabulary tree. So under 10 minutes. Okay, so it's under 10 minutes. Under a tree or under the tree? It's under a tree because there's no what? Hey, pata, or the definite article there. If it was under the tree, then it would be tachat ha'etz. but it's not Tachat ha'etz. It's Tachat etz, which is simply under a tree. Okay? Then now let's go to this one. Im hayeled va'im hayeledah. Let me slow it down. But you want to get to the place where you're actually saying it fast as you can. Im is with. Let's look at the next word, hayeled, the boy. Vocabulary word, the boy. Va'im, which is and with. Okay? Hayeldah. So hayeldah. Remember, when you have the schwa in the middle of a word like that, it's not pronounced, it's silent. So it's hayal, hayalda, 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 hayalda. Okay? Don't forget that. Especially when you're doing a transliteration and you're putting an E there and you think it's hayalda. No. Hayalda. Hayalda. So im hayeled va'im hayalda. Okay? Im hayeled va'im hayalda. Okay? With the boy and with the girl. Is that correct? Is it with a boy and with a girl, or with the boy and with the girl? It's with the boy and with the girl because of the definite article. Okay. Rewrite the following nouns and add an appropriate adjective. Translate the result into English. I only have a little bit of time, so I'm not going to do this. Anything works. You know, ben tov, which would be good boy. You could actually go down to there. Habat tov, good girl, the good girl. Habat hatov. You'd have to go habat hatov. And that's really what it's about. And you can take every one of the adjectives that you know, and you can walk down through there and then replace each adjective. So you could go habayit hatov, bayit tov, sadeh tov, hatorah hatov, laila tov, hamishpacha hatov. Because once again, every time you have the definite article, that's one of the big points of this lesson. In the noun or in the adjective, it's got to also be, right? It also has to be, if it's in the noun, it's got to be in the adjective, right? If the adjective's the noun. Proper way to say it probably is, noun and the adjective. HaSefer Tov, HaSefer HaTov, not HaSefer Tov, right? HaSefer HaTov, which is the good book. Ish Tov, now you don't need the definite article, right? Because it's not in the noun. Good men. Okay, next. Translate the following into Hebrew. Okay. How much time do I have? 6 minutes. Okay, let's come back to this. This is kind of redundant. Okay, let's come back. But it's good. You've got to do this. You've got to write it out. Okay. You've got to spend time and, let's come back to it. You got to spend time and actually write it out. And don't worry about the vowels once again when you write it out. Don't worry about the vowels for now. And he should have said that, I think. Translate the following in Hebrew without the vowels. Okay? Like here, without the book. You could just say it Baliha Sefer, and just try to get some words here like a great blessing. Barakah gadol. But you want to actually write that out. Barach gadol. Holy book. Sefer Kadosh. And it's best, it's best to go ahead, just go after it. Well, let me come back to this. And then we'll work on writing later, okay? Go on up. Because I want to get, there's another one. Let's do the rapid reading and see if we can get through that, and then we can come back and at least maybe just work on these, on the black horse, under the little tree, without a bad name, with a beautiful daughter, okay? And just help you maybe understand, if you don't already understand, how it is to write that out in Hebrew, practice it without concerning yourself necessarily with the vowels. So let's look at this rapid reading. Read the following over and over again until you can read it correctly and fluently. Good. And I'm going to say translate it as well is not necessary. Don't translate as well because I'm just looking. Most of those words you probably haven't gotten yet in your vocabulary. Okay? So let's start off with, you might want to do your transliteration. Okay? Remembering that these are biblical phrases. Leviticus 19:18, it's just a phrase right there. That's a phrase out of Leviticus 19:18. I think it would have been good if he would have said that, if he would have denoted that for you. And then this next two lines right here, that's a phrase out of Genesis 27:22. So let's just start here with this phrase out of Leviticus 19:18. Ve'ahavta. The root word there is ahav, to love. Say it again, ve'ahavta. The schwa is silent, remember that? Ve'ahavta. You're going to understand everything that's contained within that word. Once again, the word that is there, the three-letter consonant, is aleph, hey, vav. It's ahav for love, okay? And then we've got the prefix for the second person, masculine, right there. So for you, okay, so, and love you. So let's get ve'ahavta le re'acha le re'acha kamucha le re'acha kamucha va'ahavta le re'acha kamucha. One more time. Ve'ahavta le re'acha kamucha. If it was a schwa, it'd be kamuk. Kamucha. Le re'acha. Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta le re'acha kamucha. Love your neighbor as yourself. That's what that is. Love your neighbor as yourself. This right here, kamucha, is like you. It would be really like you. Kamu, and the cha is second person, masculine, singular, kamucha. And you shall love your neighbor, re'ah. You shall love your neighbor as yourself, or your friend, which is kind of cool to look at it that way. So pronunciation, rapid reading is what you want to get out of here. Keep working at it. Ve'ahavta le'reacha kamucha. Okay? Now let's go to the second line, which I think is probably easier. You know, that cough, that final cough with the gamuts is a little bit difficult to start with. But here we got hakol, kol, Yaakov. And you recognize that one, right? Hakol, kol, Yaakov. Especially Yaakov, right? Jacob, right? Ba. And listen to this. Ve hayadim yedi Esav. Now, work on that a little bit. Remember, break it down in your transliteration. Hayadaim. Hayadim. Hayadaim. Hayadaim. Yea, because now you got an initial schwa that you pronounce. Yea, yea. So remember the yea, yea, yea d, or yea day. Is it yea d or yea day? It's yea day. So v'haya dayin, yea day, yea day. The schwa now almost sounds like the serayot, yea day. V'hayadim, yea day, once again, schwa, forgive me, Sere, Esau. Or you could actually, in this instant, it is probably Esau. Instead of Esau, it's Esau. Pretty sure it's Esau. And you just got to remember that. Bahayadayim Yadei Esau. Let's go through the whole thing now. Hakol kol Yaakov. Bahayadayim Yadei Esau. The voice is the voice of Jacob. And the hands are the hands of Esau. Let's try it one more time. Ve'ahavta le'riacha kemucha. Hakol kol Yaakov ve'hayadayim Yadei Esau. So, let's just break out the two. I should have done that to start with. I was thinking that in the middle of this whole thing. Once again, just first part. Ve'ahavta le're'acha kamocha. And if you can go that fast, that's pretty good. Just do that. If you can go a little faster, good. Then, hakol kol Yaakov ve'hayadayim Yadei Esau. Yadei Esau. Okay, how much time do I have? Out of time. Love all of you. Get your questions ready. Try to text them into me. Email them to me. I'll be happy to work with you on it. If you need me to come back, we didn't get to the, did we do we didn't do the test, did we? Okay. You've got I think that the test, I looked through that test. I think that it's pretty much self-explanatory within the framework of all that I've already gone over and the key. So if you do have any additional questions, let me know. Love all of you.